Cryomix Insert Coin and Complain is being brought to you by Fireclown and Commander Haggis.
Welcome back to another episode of Insert Coin and Complain. I am Fireclown and I am with Commander Haggis once again. And today
Indeed.
we're continuing our conversation from last week, which was about RPGs because we had a good conversation. So I thought that we'd continue it, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
well,
game
I
plan.
think kind of like, yeah, there's loads more to talk about, isn't there? There's loads more games to talk. We kind of scratched the surface.
Yeah, we did.
But I am conscious, like, we don't want to make episodes too long because you could just sit and talk about one system for an hour
We
or
could.
things that we've done in games, and it's kind of like, well, do you really want to hear about the things we did in games? Probably not. You're probably more interested in kind
I
of, the breadth of what's out there,
I don't know. I think people are interested because when it comes down to ideas, for example, if you bring in an idea of a character from your game, someone else, especially a games master, might go, "That's a great idea. I really want to
Mm,
use that in my game." And anything that we talk about on this show, I think, is at liberty that people can use our ideas if they want to.
Oh God, yeah, I'm not
Apart
bothered.
from
I'm not
stealing
like,
our our show, they can't do that
yeah. Apart from that, yeah, I'm not,
because
I'm not. I don't
it's
particularly
obviously
like that.
super popular.
Yes, exactly. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to remember where we got to now. I think we were kind of. Oh yes, we were talking about paranoia,
Oh,
and we kind of
yeah.
waxed lyrical about how amazing
Yeah.
paranoia is.
And Paranoia is a
Um,
great game. It is a great game.
I can't even remember the last time I played it. To be honest, I don't even
Um,
know if they're still making it.
well, not that anybody else will be able to join in, but we will actually do some games
Mm.
in near future. But I do have plans to have a lot of people over for a big RPG session. So we may maybe do a couple of videos for that
Hmm.
and stick it up on like our channel or something. But um, we can do Paranoia for one of those. I think it would be quite funny. I think it'd be quite good.
Yeah, I think it would
Um,
be. I think it would be hilarious.
I do have a few friends that are wanting to get on and do some D&D and do a big campaign game for that, which is fine. I just need to reread some of the rules for the things I was thinking about.
Mm.
Uh, However, we were talking about paranoia, and I think we're going to go into something else that I wanted to talk about. Okay, because it's although it's not paranoia, it kind of goes along the same lines of being paranoid. So
Hmm.
this game, this is oh, that's going to be quite bad picture if I can get into line. That's Slay Industries. Okay.
Hmm.
I'll see if I can find another. There we go. There's a picture of nope, that's not a picture of Slay. This book's slightly different from the other ones, but I'll show you some of the artwork in here. If I can, whoop, back a bit, back side. Oh man, it's really hard because it's all black.
I know it's
Yeah,
difficult.
it's
You
so
need to put a
difficult.
contrast behind it.
Slay Industries. There's a go. That's the back of the book. But this I've got like a few different copies of this book. I do. I've got about three or four, but they're all different editions. But they're all very similar. So Slay Industries is actually created by a guy who lives right up at the very far north of Scotland in Caithness, in a town called Thurso. And
That's correct.
he moved down south, obviously, and he created that game.
Mm.
And Slay Industries, you can take it as two different ways of playing this game. You can play it in the really nasty dystopian universe, or you can take it as a bubblegum game. It depends on how you want
Mm.
to play it. So the main game is set on the planet, and this planet has big massive crack in it that's got energy weeping out of it, and everybody lives on this planet because every single other planet across the universe has been pretty much stripped of all its your resources. That's a lot of resources, obviously, and there's wars constantly happening across all the other planets. So the game's set on this one planet, and on this planet, uh, your character is basically a superhero or a supervillain, and the world in which you play it is darker and more evil than Judge Dredd or Blade Runner or something like that. Um, Most civilians stay in their houses unless they have to work, but most of them stay in their houses watching television. And the television is basically real life. It's before that this game was created well before any of these shows like Big Brother or, you know, what is it called? This is Jungle, Get Me Out of Here, or anything like that. This game was created well before then, where cameras are set all over the city, even the underbellies of the city. Yeah, so they can watch people all day long, being people, and also crimes happening, and then superheroes or supervillains come in and you know, have fights and everything like that. People are watching television all day, watching these things, and it's the ratings. And your character can get sponsors from all the different companies that actually work on the planet, and you get the logos put all over your jackets and everything, and that includes the villains. So this is where it kind of gets to the point where how you're going to play this game. You can play it as in a very serious game where your characters are villains or heroes, and you're actually taking it uber seriously in this dystopian, disgusting world where everybody is down and out. Or you can play it as a bubblegum game because it's completely hilarious, where you have villains and superheroes fighting for attention and trying to get the views from people that are watching the television. That you're literally trying to get views, you know, so you can become this amazing superhero or super villain. So, you know, that's kind of what it's about. So in a way, you've also got this paranoia element to it as well, because if part of your group are villains and part of your group are heroes, you're fighting against each other, trying to get views, and also trying to like one up each other constantly. And that means you're very paranoid about what your mate's going to be doing in the game. And it is actually a brilliant game. It's a really fun game, and it has a lot of thick story and background in the actual book for the game too. So it's worth picking up if you can find it. That is.
It's quite old, isn't it, from memory? Or is it still being printed? Like, is there still
I'm not sure if
editions
it's
coming out
being
for it?
printed, but this print is this print here is the original 1993 print.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So that's the original 1993 print. The latest print. See, this one's got. I think. I think that's supposed to be Slay on the front because
Hmm.
it's called Slay Industries because the guy's name's Slay,
Yeah.
SLA. Um, But the latest edition, which I do have, but I don't have it with me right at the moment, has I think it's called Pumpkin Jack on the front, and he's one of the superheroes, and he actually wears big massive leather jackets. He's got sponsors all over his jacket, and he's got like a big huge pumpkin on his head. So yeah,
Oh man, I don't think did we ever play that? I can't remember if we
we
ever played
played it
that.
once or twice, I think, but it's been a long, long time. Like I mean, a long, long time.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I was thinking
I
because
have a
I've got
lot of
vague memories of it,
I,
but not like good memory, or
the
not good, but not clear memories, I should say.
So when I
Um,
was in uh, when I was in college, I actually used Slay Industries for the basis of one of my business talks because
mhm,
the guy who created it is actually a business analyst. Yeah,
mm,
and he added in his business talks and talking about how, you know, corporate takeovers happen and how, like, you know, Slay basically became the ruler of the universe in a way, but he doesn't really care about that. He just cares about, like, you know, finding out why there's this big crack in the middle of the planet because of this energy coming out of it. Um,
mm.
that's what he's been looking for like hundreds and hundreds of years. He's ancient, by the way. And I used that book as a basis for my business project of how to do corporate takeovers. How, like, you know, someone would actually, like, you know, basically just screw another company over just to take what they want and all this type of jazz. It's all in that book. It's
Mhm.
great, and I actually got a pass for that. It was fantastic.
Excellent. All right, cool.
RPGs.
Yeah, it's something like be worth revisiting. There's another game that links back to books when we were talking about books, but I'm sure, and I might be wrong, right? But I'm sure was there not an Elric RPG,
I do
or
have
did
the
we
Elric
create
RPG.
it?
Right, so
I was gonna say, yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's more
I
than one
remember
Elric.
playing that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
more than one Elric RPG. So one's called Stormbringer and one called Elric, both made by
yeah,
Chaosism.
yeah.
And I think I covered this in the book episode that we did, which was 2 episodes ago, I think, where
Can't
Michael
remember.
Moorcock
Yeah.
kind of is in contention with the rights for his you know, IP. And
Mm-hmm.
so Chaosism have the rights for the IP for the RPGs, but they think that they have the rights to all his IP. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult for the court cases, and it's been going on for years. And so they created Stormbringer, and they also created Elric of Melniboné, the role-playing game. And both of them are very, very different books, like completely different
Mm.
books. But both of them are actually really, really good to play. They go into a lot of detail around the whole world of the old world and Melniboné and everything, and they go into a lot of information about how the world works, all the different cities and towns and everything. It's actually they are actually brilliant. They are actually brilliant. I don't have them beside me though.
Because I do remember playing those, and I do remember them being a lot of fun. But kind of after having read the books, obviously, like it made a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one we played. We
we
probably
played
played
both.
both.
We did
That's
play
what I was
both,
gonna
yeah.
think. I can't
Because
remember which one I preferred. Do we play more Stormbringer?
Stormbringer
Stormbringer rings the bell, right?
Stormbringer came out first. Stormbringer was
Yeah.
1987, I'm going to say. I'm not 100% sure, and that's don't
Mm-hmm.
quote me. But it was about 1987, and then Elric, the actual role playing game, came out, gonna say about 94, 95, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're kids.
Uh,
But they're timeless.
yeah.
These games are
Yeah.
actually timeless. You know, it doesn't matter when these role playing games come out; they are completely timeless. It's like D&D. A lot of people are like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we got to get the new edition of D&D." You
You don't.
don't need
You
to get the
don't.
new edition of D&D.
You don't.
Play the edition that you really like playing. Yeah,
Well, 100%, right? And it's kind of like not it's in a similar vein, but it's not the same thing. But do I have? Yeah, so like I love Horus Heresy. It's
yeah.
not RPG, but this is this is the third. Yeah, this is the third edition rule book,
Okay, yeah.
which I haven't read. And this is the third edition Chaos Army kind of main army book, right? It's really thick. It's still got the cellophane on it,
Mhm.
as does the Astartes one. And in fact, where's the box? Where's the box? Oh, it's down there. It's not even opened. So yeah, so it's like I bought third edition because it went on fire sale the week it was launched.
Okay, right, yeah.
And I've done nothing with it because I don't like it. I've watched people play it and
Yeah.
that, and I'm just kind of like I'm not interested. Second edition was a good tweak to the rule set, but honestly, I still think like the first edition Horus Heresy is awesome. So most people are still playing first or second edition. Like we go to competitions now, apart from the GW ones. Most people still play second edition. So
Mhm.
I mean, so you're absolutely right. It's like just because there's a new edition of something doesn't mean you need to buy it. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you need to buy into it or whatever. It's like if you're interested, fine. But I mean, like if you've been playing like third, fourth edition D&D or whatever, or second edition Star Wars, like the West End game Star Wars, I would play that
Yeah, yeah.
over anything else.
I
Like I
would
think
play
it's
the
so
West
good,
End one over like the other
so
Star
good.
Wars ones. There is
I
another
mean,
Star Wars one, by the way. They did
mhm.
release a new one, which uses their own dice sets and everything. It's completely and
Mm.
utterly different. I do not have it, but it was released. I No, that's a lie. I actually have a digital copy of the game, but I do not have the actual dice for it. That's what it is.
Who who publishes it? Like, is it direct from? It won't be Disney, surely. It must be licensed out to someone.
It won't be Disney directly. I can't remember who actually published it. I can't, the only reason I know it existed was because my brother had it and he had a whole bunch of dice for it at his house. And when I was
All
there
right.
one time,
Okay. Yeah.
this was like 6, 7 years ago that I saw it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I got a digital copy because I wanted to read it because I like
Yeah.
reading the actual books and the lore and stuff like that they chuck in there. But I never actually bought the dice because you can't buy the dice. It's
Mm.
really difficult to buy the dice. I might try to have another look for them, but yeah, you can't buy the dice at the moment.
All right. Okay. That's
It's
interesting.
they do this with like certain IPs. They create something and then they remove the whole issue of how to actually play it sometimes. So I have a Star Wars RP, Star Wars TTGRP, whatever it's called, like the collectible game, the collectible card
Yeah.
game. And it's the dice one actually. Do I have the ability to get it from here? I can get the dice.
Oh, I don't know. Do
I
you?
can get the dice. So
That's
this
difficult.
is the dice box. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
open it up,
Uh,
whoa!
I can't see it.
I'm
I
removing
can't see
everything.
it.
There we go. Uh,
Yeah.
that you open it up, you've got all the dice and things like that in there.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool.
Don't know if I can get that closer to the camera before it nips out.
No, I think it's gonna get
So
like
the dice
green
actually
screened out.
colorate to the cards that you can actually
Hmm.
collect. Um, but if you lose those dice, you're never, ever, ever getting them back again, ever again. You can't get them.
They're just out of production.
They're out of production completely and utterly. They put the whole game out of production. It's a good thing that I have pretty much every single set going to known to man for that game. And you know what? I still haven't played it properly. Opened up all the cards.
Kind of.
All the cards are really cool.
Yeah.
You can make all your decks, but just never actually got around to actually playing it because
It's
there's
one of
so
the.
many other things to do.
That's a weird thing, like with game mechanics. Like over the last sort of 10 years, there's a lot of games, even like like 40K things like that. That the integration of cards more and more into the game, and it's
Yeah,
just a mechanic I can't stand. So it just totally puts me like if I saw an RPG and it's like here are all these cards, I would just be like, yeah, I'm not interested. To me, it's
yeah.
like a sheet and some dice and some
Hmm.
friends, and then it's like you write down what you've collected and all the rest of it, and and there are plenty of things apps out there now to do this stuff for you if you can't be bothered handwriting it,
Yeah.
or just make your own app, just like write it in Python. It's
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
difficult things to do. But it is interesting, like how, and I don't know why. As soon as someone mentions, oh, there's cards and there's this, I'm just totally turned off. Because I'm probably missing out on a lot of good systems, but I'm just kind of like, no, I don't want to do that.
So, some of the card games are okay. I'm
Yeah,
probably going to get shot for this, but I'm not a Magic the Gathering fan. I I
I never
never
got
have
into it,
been. I never
to be
got
honest.
into like
Yeah.
the reason why I'm not a Magic the Gathering fan is because back in the early 90s, my brother had actually set up a big massive gaming club in the
Mm,
area that we lived, and it did so well. We played anything from Warhammer to tabletop games, board games, everything. Doesn't matter what it was.
mm,
And he handed it over to a committee, and the committee, well, he handed it over to committee because he was leaving. He went to work for Games Workshop, and the committee didn't do anything with it at all. They
mm.
literally just squandered it, and we had. I don't know if you remember Haggis, but we had people end up coming over to our house on the night that the actual club was open to play tabletop games at our house. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were playing at our house, and they're like, "Why aren't you going to the club? Why aren't you doing that? Like, we're not fussed. The more the merrier, because it is more fun with a lot more people." And they're like,
Hmm.
"Well, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting around." It's like, "What do you mean they're sitting around?" They're like, "Well, come along next week and have a look." So we went along next week, and what were they doing? They were all just playing Magic the Gathering. That was it.
Which it's fine, right? It's fine. It's kind of like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But it was, I think like with Magic, in the same way, it's like any gaming system, right? It's. I remember the same thing in Heresy once they started turning out models and turning out books, like the black
Yeah,
books,
yeah.
which are still like my favorite books. They're all up there, about £1,000 worth of books, probably more now because they're out of print. Um, but it just becomes an arms race, right? It's like people lose sight of kind of why did you start playing it? You started playing it because you liked the universe,
Yeah. Hmm.
or you read something and you really got into that idea. Like I'm still building various forces from different points in the heresy, um, and it's just a labor of love, right? It's like they're not competitive.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
build a competitive army that'll just rock up and smash stuff if the dice rolls go your way, but it's just, yeah, I think that's the problem that happened with Magic. It very quickly became an arms race in our
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
scene
No,
anyway,
no,
and I
you're
think
quite
I
right.
think that did put I think that put a lot of people off, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you turn up the starter deck and you'd just be like blown away. You're like, well, what's the point in playing this?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
there's
exactly
literally
it.
no point in playing this,
And a lot
you
of
know.
people who were playing it at the club were literally just playing against you. There's like, I think there was like 6 tables that they were playing at, and they're like rotating. And
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
when we asked, hey, why are you not playing games? Like they're like, we're playing Magic the Gathering. It's like, yeah, but surely other people want to play other games. And it's like, yeah, but we can't
Hmm.
bother setting them up. It's like,
But I think
what?
I
And so
think
we
that thing
ended up going
happens.
along the week after, and we ended up
Yeah,
setting up all the games. And then
yeah.
people stopped playing Magic the Gathering. Well, there were still people playing Magic the Gathering,
It's a
but people stopped.
hardcore element.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people stopped playing Magic the Gathering and started playing Warhammer 40k or Blood Bowl or things like that because we
yeah.
just set up the games, and we ended up running the club because of that.
For a
And
wee while. I
for,
mean, yeah,
yeah, well, if you remember, we ran it for a little longer than a wee while because we ended up doing funding for it as well, where we ended up doing a 24-hour
really.
stint, remember, where
Oh yeah, I
Octasco
forgot
got
about that.
really, really angry at us because we had put on the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
Aliens to watch in that
Yeah,
24 hours just to keep ourselves occupied, and we were told to go
it's a
to the
long
back
time.
of the hall because we kept on quoting it constantly, and he was like,
It's a
"Get
long
out!
time.
Get away from me!"
But I
That was a
mean,
long
yeah,
time ago.
kind of like got off topic a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah, we
like
did.
it, that and
Well,
that and that and that's the
I got a segue for
danger.
that.
Yeah, that's the danger for any gaming group, right? Whether it's RPGs, tabletop
Hmm.
games, but well, I mean, any group, is that it becomes focused on one thing,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then it just disappears, right? It's like the club where I live at the moment is kind of like it just kind of fell apart. I don't even know why, right? It just kind of people get disinterested.
Yeah, they do.
Um, whatever, they get into different things, and it's really hard when you're an adult. Like when you're a kid, I know I didn't really appreciate how much free time I had when I was like a
I know.
teenager, and now it's very very difficult to like. And it sounds ridiculous, right? Because you've got tons of time, but the reality is when you're working, at least one of the days off, or for me anyway, at least one of the days off I've got like I basically want to do nothing.
Yeah,
But I've got to get stuff in the house done and all these other things, and people will know what it's like, right? And then the other day, it's like, all right, so who's free? And
yeah,
that's the problem is getting like, who's free? When are you free? When are you gonna? Whereas when you're a teenager, you're just like, oh, what are we gonna do tonight? Or what are we gonna do this weekend? And you've got nothing else, really, um, in the way of that, so you can explore things a lot more. So I think to keep people engaged is really difficult when they're adults. So if like I have very like if I went to a club and then after a couple of weeks it became apparent that like card-based games were the thing, I would just be like, yeah, I'm not going. Like there'd be nothing these people can do to make me turn up because I
I,
just be like, it's
I,
just not my thing, and I'm not going to force you guys to do what I want to do.
yeah.
So
I think it's a very
that's
different
it.
ecosystem when you go to a club as well, because when you're
Hmm.
gaming with your friends, I know that sometimes it's really hard to organize and schedule your friends into
Hmm.
everybody else's lives and your life and everything. But when you're gaming with your friends, you know that you're going to have a good laugh and you're going to have like snacks, whatever. When you go to a club, you can get a good laugh and you make friends, but the biggest problem with that in a lot of clubs is the cliquiness of it, because you're wanting to play Warhammer 40k or Warhammer 30k, and there's people playing it, but you're not part of that group, you're not part of that clique. And if you try
Hmm.
to move in and try to make friends, will they accept you? Are you going to be too old? Are
Mhm.
you going to be too young? Are you going to be like a person that they are just not going to like? It's really hard sometimes to do that because when you've got a cliquey set of people, they don't accept anybody else sometimes. And that's where a good club running happens. Whereas when the committee took over the club, up here, yeah, they took over the committee and did nothing with it, and so therefore everybody just ended up playing Magic the Gathering. And when we came in, we ended up setting up a bunch of stuff trying to welcome people in. We got a lot of new members for them as well. They came in and played more games. We did funding for them. We did a whole bunch of stuff, and then we actually left it. I think we were running it for nearly 6 months, and then we left it, and then
Yeah, probably
it
actually.
fell apart again because you
Yeah.
need a good set of people. I'm not trying to make myself like big-headed or anything. I'm just trying to say you need people who can organize, manage, and be welcoming, and that's a
Well,
big
you're
problem
not
with a lot of clubs.
if you're running a club, you're not playing games, right? And then
Yeah,
that
that's right.
gets that gets boring very quickly.
Yeah.
Um, like 'cause it's just like a job. That's literally, and it's
Hmm.
the main reason why I've avoided doing it since I've been based where I'm based for like the last 10 years. I'm just kind of like I'm happy to go along. I'm happy to help out and things like that. But do I want to be on the committee? Absolutely not. It's like because it's just crap. you're just stressed out, and especially like in Scotland, because we both live in the Highlands, and the population's so spread out. You live in Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dundee, any of these kind of more kind of urban areas, it's like it's fine, right? You'll just it doesn't matter if attendance dips, a
Yeah,
little bit, because you're still going to get like 40 people turning up or something.
yeah.
But in the more kind of rural areas, it's well, a it's much harder because you've got less people. Then B, you have to keep people's attention. C, there are transport like issues and all the rest of it. And this is completely not what we said we were going to talk about today.
Well, it incorporates it because RPGs incorporate some tabletop elements anyway, and they also incorporate clubs
Well,
and also people gathering. So
yeah,
it
that's
is
true.
all
Yeah,
part
that's
of the
right.
same thing. It really is.
Mhm.
And if you can't get a good club to go to, you literally
Yeah.
have to go to your friends and say, "Hey, can I get
Mhm.
you interested in this?" If you can't get your friends interested in it, you're literally got two choices. You don't play the game, or you go to
Yeah.
a club. Yeah. So people
Well, I
try to
think
get
that's
go to a club.
why. I think as well though the flip side of that coin is why there are so many things online, like on games online that are tagged as RPG,
Hmm. Hmm.
and people end up like going to them like Fallout. Fallout's not an RPG. Like I can think of like even Baldur's Gate 3, I wouldn't call an RPG. It's not. There are like the true RPGs online are few and far between. Um, but that's
RPG.
why people gravitate towards them. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
there are
It's
video
the
game
sense of
RPGs
that.
which just have a very
Yeah,
different
yeah,
mechanic to it. Whereas a tabletop RPG, pen and paper RPG, you are literally creating your own character, creating your own life, and then the games master, storyteller, dungeon master, whatever you want to call them,
very important.
um, they have to have an amazing imagination to be able to uh, make your character feel important, to make
Yes.
everybody's character
Yeah.
feel important. If you're playing with four,
Hmm.
six, two people, whatever, you have to make sure that everybody in that on the table feels important to the storyline. And that's a big thing for someone who's like running a game. And they've got to have an imagination to incorporate all your storylines. You've got to have an imagination to funnel and improve, like, on what you want for your storyline as well to make it interesting. And on top of that, they also have to know all the rules. Now, the player doesn't need to know all the rules. The person who's running the game needs to know all the rules. In fact, I actually find it really annoying. I probably might get shot for this one as well. I find it really annoying when someone else knows all the rules and then starts rules lawyering over it. Yeah.
Mm.
And starts going, oh, but you can't do that because the rule
I
says here
think
you can't do it. It's like, yeah, but I don't care because I'm the games master. I'm trying to run a game. I'm trying to make it enjoyable for everybody else. And now you're just like making it as a logical system, which is not what this is.
I I think I think it is and it isn't. So I think there's very much it's that thing that kind of like, are you playing in the spirit of the game or are you playing rules as written? And I don't
Yeah.
mind either, right? And I've come across this in like tabletop skirmish games and things like that, and I'm quite happy. Like I used to play competitively, and I am quite happy to turn up and play rules as written. But if you want to play rules as written, I'm gonna pick you up on every single
Yeah.
thing
Exactly.
that I'm just going to be like, no, it doesn't actually say that. What it says is X.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I much prefer, and that's why now I just play narrative, right? And I much prefer like if you're with a group of friends, you just sit down and because there's always stupid mechanics, there's
Mm-hmm.
always like ridiculous mechanics in
Yeah.
games, and just house rule it, right? And ultimately, everyone has to accept that for the story to move on, there will be points where things happen and the games master just goes, "You don't get a roll. That's it." It's like this. The event happens because
Because I
it's like
said,
anything else. The story well, it's not even that. It's just like, do you want the story to progress or not? Like
yeah.
there are events where it's like, no, this just happened,
Hmm.
and now you move on to the next bit. So stop bloody arguing
So
about it and get on with the next part of the story.
So what a
You
lot of
know?
people don't understand as for running a game, like players can know the rules, they can like
Yeah.
study the rules as much as they want, but they're not running the game, and they need to understand that. So you don't want someone saying and quoting rules to you and things like that. The reason for
Mm.
that is because you yourself, you've spent, say, like 2, 3 days creating a campaign for someone to play, or a group of
Mhm.
people to play, yeah? And that campaign needs to go in this direction over to your left or right or whatever. Um, and then you will always have characters who kind of go, no, but I want to go this way instead. They'll go the opposite direction. You've not written a storyline for that. So you have to make something up off the top of your head for that character to do, and hoping that you can steer them back onto the storyline without it making it look like you're steering them back onto the storyline, if that makes any sense. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then during that time, you will have lots of rules that you have to kind of try to stick by. You've got lots of dice rolls going on. You've got lots of things going on for two different storylines that you've. One of them you're like just doing off the top of your head. One of them you've actually created. And then you've got this person going, yeah, but you can't do that because the X, Y, and Z says X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you need to shut up. Because,
No, I mean, I think that's it. It's like, do you want to play the game or not? It's like,
yeah,
I mean, then I mean, I've been in situations where I'm like, would you like to GM? That's fine. Like, we
yeah,
can,
yeah,
I
exactly.
can pass it over to you. I'm quite happy. Like, we'll create a little kind of incident, and then I'll make a character. He joins the group somehow, and then you can GM in your character. Like, that's fine. I
Hmm.
don't have an issue with that. That's absolutely fine. But it is like that idea of you just have to have things that happen where the story, like, well, it's like in like there are things that events that happen in video games and you're just like, you can't do anything, it's just a cutscene, or this
Yeah.
happens or that happens, and it's like, all right, okay, and then the next part of the story happens, or
Hmm.
here's the next area you're going to go to, and things like that, and accept it and move on. But
I'm not one for like 100% structured gaming when it comes to RPGs, because people who play the RPGs, the players, are very erratic in how they want to do things with their own characters. So I'm really, really flexible while doing that. And I think that's better. When you're doing tabletop
mm,
gaming, it's slightly more difficult. You do want to try to stick to as many rules as possible, but as you already pointed out, there are certain games that have, like, ridiculous rules, and
yeah,
you end up
yeah,
either giving a house rule, or you make a system in place to make sure that that rule doesn't ruin your game. So, for
mhm,
example, when playing Star Wars X-wing miniatures, yeah, um, there is a rule that if you want to what they call focus, yeah,
mm,
you have to, at the end of your turn, put focus on your ship, yeah. You forget, people forget about that all the time. It is a rule that everybody forgets, yeah. So what we ended up doing is we called it the gentleman's focus, and it's like
that's it.
the other player kind of goes, you might want to put focus on that, or if you've completely forgotten, if both people have forgotten, it's like, oh crap, I forgot to put focus on. It's like gentleman's focus, and you just put focus on anyway. It's like an
It
automatic
doesn't
thing.
matter,
It's
right?
like in a
It
video
doesn't
game,
matter. Yeah.
you have like auto things that you can put on auto done. Yeah, that's basically
Yeah, they're
what we
just
did.
it's just like a passive ability, right? So it's
Yeah,
just like this, unless stated, I am doing this. And like unless otherwise stated, just take it that I will always be
exactly.
adding this ability if I
Yeah,
have if I can.
yeah,
And I think that's fine. Like, and it happens all the time. You know, because there's so many caveats to rules and all the rest of it, so that the universe feels a bit more kind of um. What's the word? It's got a bit more kind of sauce to it, if you want. It's got a
yeah.
bit more depth,
Hmm.
and you're trying to recreate very very complicated kind of storylines and ideas in like rules essentially, and dice rolling, and I think, yeah, if you go to that, like, basically I would say, like, if you're the kind of person that enjoys winning, don't play an RPG.
Yeah,
Like,
you got no
I
chance.
would even say, like, don't play tabletop games,
Yeah.
because, like, especially when you get to like our age, or if you join a group of people where, like, oh yeah, I've been playing this for like 30 years,
Hmm.
there will definitely be two sides to that person. There'll be the, I'm going to go to an event and I'm going to play competitively, which is like maybe 10% of what they do,
Yeah,
and then the 90% of what they do is, I just want to play a good game. Oh, actually, let's play through this narrative scenario, or do this or do that. So you're not going to get on with that, right? If your mentality is, I just want to win,
yeah.
right? and you're probably going to end up having a bad time and spend a lot of money doing it because these things, RPGs not so much. Like they're actually barrier to entry is pretty low still for RPGs, but tabletop gaming absolutely not. Like you'd be spending hundreds literally
Yeah,
to get
well,
into it. So
I must admit that the X-Wing miniature stuff that I have in this house is probably worth getting close on 10 grand.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
that's
and that's I just I didn't pay 10 grand for it. I got a lot of it in
no
sales and
exactly.
things like that. So but
Mm.
if it was bought brand new, or it was bought brand new, if it was bought not in sales, it would possibly
Yeah, I know what
be
you mean.
close
Like
on 10 grand.
if
And
you
that's a
had to replace it,
yeah,
it would be like
that's
what's
a
the retail value?
lot of
Yeah,
money for
yeah,
just a game. So when
yep.
you're actually making, doesn't matter what tabletop game it is. I was talking about Star Wars anyway, but if you're making a 50 point, like fleet in Star Wars, you're probably talking close on 70 or 80 quid just for that.
Yeah, that's
If
it.
you're wanting to do 100 points, you might be going up to like 200 quid because you might want one of those bigger ships. And
Hmm.
that's the thing. It's like these things cost a lot of money. Why are you going into it just to win? Because if you're going into it just to win, you'll be disappointed and you're not going to want to play it anymore. You should be
No,
going into
exactly.
these games in the hope that you'll win, obviously, but
Hmm.
to enjoy actually playing the game and
Oh
having
my
fun.
god.
Um, and this is a prime example. Uh, I used to play a lot of Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Mm.
And my high elf army, I took it everywhere with me. Doesn't matter who I was playing, I'd always play it. But my brother would always take chaos. He'd always fight chaos against me because he knew that I couldn't play against chaos. But you know what? It didn't deter me. I still went in and played. Doesn't matter how badly I lost. Still went in,
Yeah,
played the
exactly.
game, lost, and I'd still had fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I was never deterred about things like that. I didn't get upset. And I'm talking like, when I was like 12, 13, 14.
Hmm.
It didn't deter me. It didn't upset me. It was like, oh crap, I just lost again. Cool, no worries. I still won games. I won games against other people, but in those respects, I never, I don't think I ever won a game against my brother in that. I've
Hmm.
won maybe 2 games of X-Wing miniatures against him, maybe 3 games. The rest
Yeah.
of them, he's a
I'm.
good tactician when it comes to things
Oh
like that.
yeah, he's annoying.
He's
Well,
annoying.
he reads the rules, right? Um,
Yeah.
that's the thing. He actually reads the rules, and then like so. I was just interested, like so these are the original Horus Heresy,
Oh
really
yeah.
nice
Mhm.
black books from the first edition.
Mhm.
So I was just interested in like what's book one worth now online?
Oh, were you looking?
Uh, yeah, well, just because you're talking about cost. So I bought when I bought this, it was like I think it was like 70 quid, which isn't too bad because it's a really nice book. Um, and the artwork's fantastic and everything. It's like thick leather cover and all the rest of it. So to buy it now online in worse condition than this, it's what was it? It's £450.
Ooh,
And I would say if you were going to get into Horus Heresy, you'd want the full collection of
yeah.
these, all
That's a lot
9.
of money, dude.
Yeah, I know. But they're like brilliant. They're just source material. They're brilliant. They're absolutely fantastic. Like the first one, Betrayal, is just about well, yeah, the betrayal, like the drop site massacre. But yeah, it's so cool. It's just full of really cool images
Mhm.
and maps and all this kind of the stuff that Forge World are amazing at, like all the fluff, all the story and things like that. Um, I have all of them. I made a point of buying all of them, even the ones that I wasn't interested in. Had stuff in it for legions I wasn't interested in. I was like, I know I'm gonna want the set, so
Mhm.
I just thought, well, screw it. It's 80 quid a pop. I know they're gonna be like, because even when they came out, a week later they would appear on eBay and they're like twice the price because there's only a limited run of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think you're spot on when it comes to cost. It's like think what do you want to do? Like I would say that about anything, video games, whatever. It's like don't pre-order stuff. Just wait and see. Like you're literally missing out on nothing. And well, apart from this kind of stuff,
The
where
only
it's like if
time,
if you're if you're late to the party like by a decade,
yeah,
then it's like yeah, first edition whatever is going to be
a lot more money.
expensive in good condition, right?
If The only time that I would say to pre-order something is A, if you have the money, and B, you can trust the actual product. Yeah. If you can't to do either of those, don't pre-order. Your money is money at the end of the day. You want to keep that and actually make sure that you can live. And B, if you do not trust the product, don't fricking buy it on pre-order. It's as simple as that. You know, that's
Hmm.
like especially video game wise. You got
Oh God,
You
yeah,
got GTA
yeah.
6 coming out soon, yeah. All the bad stuff that I've heard about that game, I'm like, well, I'm not pre-ordering that. You got to be
Just wait and
nuts to be
see.
able to pre-order it.
Yeah,
I'm going to wait and see what actually
yeah,
happens
exactly.
because if it's got
That's
all
it.
that bad crap in it, like
Hmm.
I'm going to be sitting back going, well, won't be buying that. I'm not going to fund a company that's like literally ripping people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as simple
No,
as that.
and I mean, I'm sure we've made this argument loads in the things we've talked about, whether it's about ownership or whatever.
Hmm.
It's like you're not missing out on anything. Like
No.
literally, you're not missing out on anything. And if you really want to buy the game, like just wait a week, right?
Yeah.
Wait a week. See what the initial reviews are. What and no matter what it is, whether it's an RPG or whatever, because the you know these things are getting reviewed.
Hmm.
And the reviews are up the day of launch, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like generally, that no matter how niche you think something is, there will be a following on it. Whether there's forums or Discord channels or guys on YouTube that just do this sort of stuff, or even now, like a really good source is Patreon. You know,
Yeah.
um. So yeah, anything. I mean, you might think it's like the most esoteric thing, but then you're like, oh, actually, yeah, there's like 1,000 people watching this guy reviewing this thing that I thought no one would be interested in
Yeah. Yeah.
because the world's a big place, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how niche it is, there's
Yeah,
always
that's it.
always someone doing it.
And
The only time that I actually buy stuff and pre-order is when I really, really want it and I trust the system. Yeah, obviously.
yeah,
Um,
if you're invested in a system,
yeah,
then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get it, right?
exactly. Like Subnautica 2, for example.
Oh,
We knew that we're going to
100%
like that regardless.
pre-ordered
Yeah.
that.
So that's a pre-order. But
Hmm.
going away slightly from that because it's not a pre-order, but it kind of is. When you're doing the Kickstarter campaign. Yeah. You're
Mm.
literally or GoFundMe through another system or was it GameFound? That's the other one that
Yeah, yeah,
I've bought from. They have
yeah.
you could say pre-order systems through
Mm.
basically funding, crowdfunding. Yeah,
Oh yeah, like the thing's not getting made unless they can raise the funds, right?
exactly.
That's
But
it.
you
Yeah.
get to actually watch what's actually happening
Mm.
through the actual process of it being created, which is absolutely brilliant. And there's so many board games and tabletop games and RPGs that actually get done through that system. In fact,
Mhm.
I have one of them down here. Look at that. Did you like my segue?
No,
Shut up.
I didn't. No, it's terrible.
I
Terrible.
don't
Makes
know
no
if you can see
sense.
that.
Kinda. It's very. Oh, there you go. You got it there. I
That
can't read
is
it, but I
uh,
can see the image.
that's Korra from Avatar, and on the other
Oh,
side is Aang, and this is
boring.
what do you mean boring? Shut up. This is
Boring.
that's the RPG for Avatar universe basically. And I'm only bringing this one into play because A, I was talking about Kickstarter and I got this on
Mm.
Kickstarter. I've got loads of stuff for this, like loads of books, dice, everything. Because with Kickstarter you get lots of different crowdfunding of extras and things like that that you don't get in the
In
shops.
production,
Yeah.
yeah, you won't get it in production.
And
Yeah.
I also thought I'd bring this one out as well because the new Avatar movies will be getting released later on this year, and Paramount have another movie about a
Oh,
completely different Avatar system that's getting released on their system too. So it's a product that
yeah.
can be named.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. It's fine. It's just not my thing at all. But I can appreciate that people like it. I just don't get it.
I actually prefer I actually prefer Aang. Like the story of Aang is great. I really like it, but I actually prefer the story of Korra better because it actually goes into so much more depth in a lot of things. And I do have the role-playing game of that, obviously. But I've also got the tabletop board game, which is basically a game like Blood Bowl. Yeah, you got
Mm.
teams, and you choose your team, and you actually use the team against someone else's team and things like that. However, it took my brother and I nearly 3 hours to work out how to play it
Oh my god, it must be
because
complicated.
it's not complicated. It's just not written well. I find that
Ah, okay, yeah,
IDW
yeah.
games, whenever they're actually released, the ideas are brilliant, and when you get the rule books, you're like, "What?
Mhm.
What is
Yeah,
this?"
that's and that can be a real problem, right? I think like you can have the simplest game mechanics ever, but if the documentation is really really bad,
Hmm.
it ends up becoming really really complicated and
Yeah,
bloated because you're just like, well, I think it means this, right? It's like, no, just make it really simple. You've got a
yeah,
really simple idea. Just be like, this is the rule. Here is an example. That's how you apply it all the time.
yeah.
Um, and
And
yeah, well, I've
again,
been in that situation.
yeah, and again, this is the other bad thing about Kickstarter is because
Yeah.
although that RPG is absolutely brilliant, it is really fantastic. The artwork in it is amazing. The rules are actually brilliant.
Mm.
That game that was, the IDW one with the teams from Legend of
Yes.
Korra was a Kickstarter. The rules are awful. Yeah, I do not like them.
I think,
The Batman game that
yeah.
I've got as well, got all the Batman stuff for it. The rules are awful. Like trying to read those rules is a pain in the ass. Or what's one of the other ones? It's a Call of Cthulhu style game, but it's a
Oh,
narrative game. Um,
um,
I can't remember what it's called now off the top of my head.
well, I've played it. It's not the easiest to understand, but
Yeah,
once you get into it, it's okay.
it's
But
really
yeah,
great.
at the start, you're just kind of like, this makes no sense.
It
Ah,
makes
it's
no
gonna bug
sense.
me.
And then
I know what you're
part
talking
of
about.
the
I can't remember it.
like you've got a map and it lays out so you can actually go, all right, I'm going there, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, so on and so on, because it's like an investigative story. One of
Yes.
the areas for the game, yeah, wasn't actually written in the book and it isn't on the map.
Yeah.
But when you're reading the storyline for it, it's in the storyline, but they forgot to put it on the map and forgot to put the description in the book for going to that area, which was
Genius.
just silly because the worst of it is that's actually the end of part of one of the campaign sections. So when you're buying
No.
from Kickstarter or something like
Yeah.
that, you're also getting something amazing, but you also might get something that they forgot about. They literally
And that,
forgot about something.
yeah, so and that's the thing you bring up. It's like the one thing about waiting for something to go to market through the kind of normal channels is like there's so many like barriers it has to go through and checks, right? For a company to go, do you know what we're going to take? Because everything someone launches is a risk. There's a risk it fail.
Hmm.
There's a risk it just costs you money. There's a risk like it just sits on a shelf and that's costing the retailer money or costing you money if you have bricks and mortar. Um, so yeah, so for something to get to the point where they're like, we're confident
Hmm.
that it should sell enough that we at least break even is very, very difficult. Whereas when you're in Kickstarter, you're kind of just you're choosing to believe that these people are going to do a really good job, and most people, for the most part, do.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not the best.
Yeah.
And I've had both experiences, so
Hmm.
yeah. Um, but it wouldn't stop me. If I was really really interested in an idea, like it wouldn't stop me investing
Hmm.
100% because
Hmm.
it's just like, well, why not? But I think God, that was a good conversation
Yeah.
actually.
Just ow, trying to break myself. Just before we finish for the day
Indeed.
for this one, I thought I'd bring out the. Oh, goodness me, trying to
Alien. Yeah, I've got that.
the Alien one. Just thought I'd bring
Yeah.
that out just to show people that there is actually a role
Oh,
playing game of
yeah.
Alien,
It's good.
which is
The
really
book's
good.
good. Have you read it yet?
I have not read all of it yet,
Oh, it's so good.
and
Like it's
sorry.
really, really good. It's
Yeah.
really well written.
Well,
Yeah.
I do plan to read it because I know that you're going to be coming up and wanting to play games, so I thought that
Yes.
would be one of the ones that we
Absolutely.
market on,
Yeah.
and
Damn
this one
right.
as well.
Oh, that. Oh, Witcher. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
kind of interested. I'm intrigued by that. I don't know how well. I mean, in theory, it should be an amazing RPG, right?
Yes.
Um,
Uh,
I think the thing that will spoil it is people have preconceived ideas. I think that's why D&D works so well. Is because it can be anything.
Yes.
You know.
D&D can be absolutely anything and everything.
Yeah.
Same as Warhammer Fantasy
Yeah.
role-play in a
Exactly. No.
sense.
Yeah. And
Um,
even like the Lord of the Rings RPGs or
yeah,
Elric, you can go
Lord of the
away and do
Rings.
anything.
Yeah.
But I think with Witcher, because it's got such a strong identity in like the kind of modern kind of psyche,
Yeah.
it might not translate that well. I
I
think
think,
people will be a bit obsessed with the TV characters rather than just going, no, you just go off and do your own thing.
yeah, I think that's what the problem is again with Star Wars as well, because people when they
Yeah,
hear Star Wars, it's like, oh, I get to be a Jedi. It's like, well, you can
no,
be, but there's so much
you
more
don't.
to it. It's like
You
in the
want
Witcher
to
role,
be a smuggler.
yeah, smuggler or like a convict
Yeah,
even just for funsies. But in The
yeah,
Witcher, you're not. You can be a Witcher if you really wanted to be, but there's so many other character types that you can be. Like look at Dandelion. He's a freaking minstrel. He's
yeah.
freaking badass. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you've got all these different character types that you can actually be in the Witcher universe, and that's what it's more about. It's not about you being a Witcher. It's like Star Wars. You're not needing to be a Jedi or needing to be a Force user at all. You could literally be just a normal person who has a normal 9 to 5 job to start with, and the games master puts you into a scenario
Yeah,
which ruins the whole life that your character actually had, which puts it and makes you the main character in the end.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
think people need to realize that the boring beginning of an RPG for your character is sometimes the most exciting in the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a story, right? That's it.
Hmm.
It's just a story.
You're living a story.
Uh
You're reading. You're
yeah.
making your own story for your own character, and that's one of the things about RPGs that is amazing, especially if you've got a really good games master or storyteller, dungeon master, whatever you want.
Hmm.
Um, they will make you feel like you are the main character, regardless. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are the main character of your own story, even if there's like another 4 or 5 people sitting around the table. You are still the main character, just like they are the main
Hmm.
character. And I think
Yeah.
that's something really special to actually play. Um, and it might sound really silly, but we've been doing this since we were kids. When you were like a kid sitting at home playing with your toy cars or playing with Barbie dolls or whatever you played with as a kid, you were making up your own stories in your own head. You
Hmm.
have that imagination, and sometimes you just need to unlock that imagination again to
Uh,
play a game like this.
exactly. 100%. Get over the. I think sometimes people are a bit self-conscious about these things, like the idea of adulthood and what it means and all the rest of it. And it's like, yeah, but it's your free time. Do what you want with it. And if you
Yeah,
want to like sit around a table with some friends and pretend to be a dwarf or an elf or whatever, it's like, well, that's way less damaging to society than lots of other things you could be doing.
yeah.
So don't feel bad about doing these things if
No,
you
no,
want to
not
do
at all.
them. Right? That's it.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
agree with you.
that's a positive message to finish on.
It is. You didn't complain
Don't
about.
feel
You
bad.
didn't complain about much.
Well, because we're talking about stuff we like. I'm sure there are RPGs we could talk about where we're like, that's total
Oh,
trash.
maybe we should do
But
that
we
next time.
I
Because I've
can't
got
think of
plenty of
many.
those too.
I can't think of many that I've been pulled into, to be honest,
Well,
where I've
Vampire
thought, you know
Requiem
what?
was definitely one that I just.
See, I just avoided that though. I was
Yeah.
out of the scene by then, out of
I
that
actually
scene.
think
I
I've got
can't
two
remember.
copies of it as well. I've got the werewolf copy that goes along with it too.
Oh
It's
God.
really detrimental to my health.
Well, and you won't get rid of them because you're a collector. I was gonna say
Yeah,
just
I am a collector.
sell them,
I like
but
to keep
you
these
won't.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll finish it
Cool.
there. Thank you for joining us. And come again next time when we talk about whatever we talk about.
Come again. Come again. You don't have a choice. We just force this stuff on you.
I know,
Anyway,
right?
thanks for watching, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.